Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life. And Professor Sunreis Productions! Hello class, Professor Sunreis here. In today's class we're gonna take a look at replay analysis I did play with Brave Virtual World against ABC Therion, 60 card pile. Like, this is a prime example of what not to do with an ABC deck. The deck completely dies to seeing the field spell or not seeing it, and then playing 60 card seems kinda bad in my opinion. We have a shit ton of misplays on my part, but most importantly we do have an updated list. The main engine stayed the same, of course, because it is crispy clean. It's just the flex spots and the side deck and a little bit in the extra deck, which I switched up to combat all the Untitled players just dominating the meta right now and just coming down. D-Shifter, Barrier Statue. Oh, I didn't draw D-Shifter. Hobbit's Feather Duster, Storm, whatever trap thing, which is basically a skill drain. Anyways, we tried to combat that with a little bit of a switched up main deck. If you want to see an updated deck profile, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And the latest I'm going to do it is after the German Nationals, where I hopefully topped or at least got a very, very, very good record. Anyways, I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Leave some feedback down in the comment section below, and let's get right into the replay. So here we are in the replay. I'm going to quickly turn off my face cam. We have me at 1180 rating against Mario 2001 with 938 rating. We win the die roll with 40 with a 60, so we immediately are anticipating some sort of pile dot deck where we put insane value on Shanshan. Our opening hand is quite weird. We have Chucha, GG Lulu, GG Lulu. That is not the most optimal opener. We decide to normal summon Lulu here. Then use the GG on it. We start with the GG, of course. We want to get the Queen Long out, and then we can use Lulu to get the send Chucha at Kowloon here. We kind of have to play it weird because we hard drew the one Chucha, so we have to use the Kowloon to activate a Queen Long out of the deck. But that's all good. The opponent tells us okay. We do kind of expect this from 60 card decks. At least I do that because they usually don't have a lot of defensive cards. So we summon GG, get the Queen Long. Now we use the Lulu to send Chucha at a Kowloon. We can now get the Lulu here on the field. We now synchro these two off into a Charge Warrior. Triggering the effect of the Charge Warrior, drawing us, oh, another Lulu, perfect. So here's the big think moment. I think here I did a misplay. Let me think. Well, let me see what happens next. Here we use the Chucha on the Lulu. To make it level 6 to go into a Crystal Wing. I think we shouldn't have gone for this Charge Warrior. We should have normaled the GG instead of the Lulu, so we'd have a non-tuner. That way we could have gone to a Coral Dragon instead of the Charge Warrior, because we will actually miss this Charge Warrior later on in the combo. We would have had the exact same outcome, except that I guess we could have drawn the one Queen Long in our deck, but that's what it is, I guess. So we get the Crystal Wing. Now we can activate the Kowloon, get the Queen Long because we already have the Chucha, like I said. It doesn't really matter though too much that we do it like this. The most important aspect is that we missed the Charge Warrior Coral interaction. We should have definitely normal summoned GG. So if you, like as a maybe like a keynote, if you can go for Coral Dragon instead of a Charge Warrior, you should always do it because Coral Dragon is quite hard to make use of. You can only use it for the Crystal Wing route and for a Brave route into like a Baroness or into a Chinging or any Synchro 10 or something. And while the Charge Warrior is super applicable, you can turn it into rank 6s, you can turn it into a Shanshan. So it's way easier to handle and to get usage out. So we activate the Queen Long. We use the Queen Long Engrave to pitch a Lulu and summon and get the Lala. We did pitch a Lulu because we will get it back anyways with the GG, and that's all we really can do. I think that's actually a second misplay, right? Because we probably should have wanted to pitch the GG because we will get a Lulu back anyways, and then we can get back Lala Lulu, which is better than GG Lulu. But then again, that's arguable, so I don't know. We decide to summon the GG still and then get the Nian out. That is probably still the correct play to just get the... No, we probably should have saved the Nian. I think this is where I realized I made the misplay. This, by the way, I think I played this on stream, and this was like my first or second game, and I was quite tired. And I was very much focused on getting all of my thoughts out, and then I did like a few misplays here and there, and I was very not really focusing on the game and more me speaking about the game. Anyways, with that Chucha, arguably these 3 disruptions is enough against most of the decks. By the way, we are playing against Therion. I didn't even go over their hand. They have Union Hanger, Foolish Burial, Ride, Terraforming, and Enchantress, which is like a pretty good hand. End phase GG at back Lulu. All good and dandy. So let's see what the opponent is up to. The opponent is deciding to start with the Enchantress, trying to bait an Ash or something, activate the Ride, get token Fateful out of the deck, activate the Fateful. We'll be adding, could be adding a lot here. We don't decide to hit it by now because we're always anticipating a Griffin and we want to hit the token as last as possible. Maybe they will commit a normal summon. They are actually searching the Illegal Knight here. Because they didn't activate, I'm gonna pause it. Because they didn't activate or didn't summon any monster to trigger the Dracoback Search, it's totally fine to activate the adventure on, to not hit the adventure on activation, because if you pop the token, they can still summon out the Griffin or the Illegal Knight no matter what, so we can also wait. Now them summoning out the Illegal Knight is quite risky. We probably, because on activation of Illegal Knight, have to pop the token, otherwise they would bounce our field, which we don't want to do. So this is the aspect we have to use the Chucha on. The opponent is doing a big misplay here, which I definitely want to go over by using Mystic Mine now instead of later. If you Mystic Mine me early, I am probably inclined to use my Chucha on it in a different aspect than this, because we now already know that they have an Illegal Knight. We know that they have their big disruption tool, their big board breaker tool is something which actually gives me a body back and gives, basically goes, takes 2 bodies from me and gives me 1 back. So I now know that the Mystic Mine isn't actually that big of a deal because the opponent is in a very weird scenario. Also 60 card Brave and Mystic Mine kind of made me think it's maybe an ABC variant, which I was like, nah, that's not possible, because who the fuck would play 60 card ABC when Union Hanger is the only reason this deck remotely functions. But it was in the back of my mind, so I put less value on the Mystic Mine, just knowing that they had the Illegal Knight and then they could be on ABC and they maybe want to get rid of their Mystic Mine themselves. That's why we don't pop it. We did a big thing here. So now the opponent is deciding to use the Illegal Knight, summon a naked. We are totally fine with that, I think. Yes, we are fine with that. So now they trigger the Dracoback, which is also fine. I'm gonna actually take a sip here. So now they have the Illegal Knight out. Of course, they can now bounce our shit, forcing out the Chucha. We cannot Crystal Ring in response, but that is totally fine. They will target the Crystal Wing and the Chucha. I don't know if Shenshin is maybe the better disruption, but I don't exactly know how this deck's function. I think they all need to go to the graveyard. Yes, they of course need to do so. Maybe hitting Shenshin here is the better option for the opponent. We decide to chain our Chucha, targeting the token because they have a Dracoback, so with that they could still get rid of the Shenshin. So we decided that is the best option for us. They will give us a body, which is totally fine. We will cycle the Chucha and the Qinglong. Of course, we can still deal with that on a later turn. We still have, we don't have a Qinglong there, but we have a Qinglong on field, so we can banish 1 and 1 from the field, just negating anything. It doesn't really matter what. And then we can use the Neon and the Illegal Knight to go into a synchro play. The Neon was summoned by its effect, so it will get banished. Let's see if I did a misplay. No, it didn't. It keeps all of these things. So we still have a way to out the Mystic Mine in the opponent's next turn. So I am super fine with that play on my regard. And this will also leave us with still a very large amount of disruption in the Baroness at the Shenshin, which we will be making. This is also why I don't think Illegal Knight is a good card. It just giving the opponent a level 7 monster a lot of times just feels so bad. Of course, you have that interaction with the Dracoback, but in a format where people are playing Griffin as a level 7 extender to go into Baron, giving the opponent a free level 7 just doesn't feel cool. So, draw for turn is an impermanence. I guess that's an okay draw. We cannot activate any monster effects here, but that is totally fine. We will just use the Illegal Knight and the Neon, like I said, to go into a Baron. And then this will get banished. And then we use the Qinglong to banish something. The Lulu targeting the Tzolk'in. It doesn't really matter what we target here. We set 2 and we pass the turn. Now we let me see. We don't use the Chucha here, just because the opponent didn't have any plays last turn, so it's kind of safe to assume that they don't really have a play at all right now. They do have the Enchantress search here of the adventure, so they can get Enchantress, get the Ride, and still have the Draco back in there, so we are still kind of struggling against the against the Brave package. So you have to use the Chucha at some point. They still have the option for them to get it out. So they can force the Chucha, sending Enchantress of the with the Foolish, so they have full Brave Engine available to us. I think I miscalculated that here. I was not really paying attention, so I think I missed them using the Foolish for that. I thought they used it with that, but it's all fine and dandy, I think. They will be searching the Ride. This is, by the way, the last Ride in their deck. Not that it matters, they can get it out of the grave. Now they use the Adventure. Now, oh wait, they didn't use that, okay. Do I have the Chucha here somewhere? But they don't have the token out yet, so it's pretty okay. They do get rid of the Scythe, making it so that Barone turns into a Disruption if they play it. They will be summoning the Griffin, and they want then to think on Resolve here. If they summon the Ride now, they force out our Chucha, which is annoying, to say the least. We then decide to Chucha the Mystic Mine, which of course plays very well into them because they cannot actually play with the Mystic Mine on field because the two starters here are field spells, but that's all okay. Now, because we know they only have one Ride in hand, Barone negating the Ride is actually really good because we know they still have the token. So now they decide to activate the Colosseum, so they're not going for the Brave thing. I don't know, maybe they try to bait it, but Colosseum is like such an... you don't negate this. This is not a relevant card for any measure whatsoever. They don't have a machine there yet. Now we are figuring, okay, they are on... I think we still didn't even know that they were on ABC by now. We probably should have figured it out. In hindsight, it is quite obvious. They have the Colosseum, so they now go into the battle phase. And they try to set up the Therions by using the Colosseum to damage step, send something. I thought I could negate this, but then I realized this is like Lost World. You cannot really negate it. It's just instead of destroying, you do this, so it's not an activated effect, which kind of bit me in the ass here because now they have the Therion play available to them. This is now where the point where like, oh wait, they're playing ABC because why would you ever send a Regulus if you can also send a Borea, I think. So, oh wait, they're ABC, the field split, it all makes sense now. And then it didn't make sense because they're on 60. Anyways, so they are deciding to use the Regulus here. This gives them, of course, an Omni Negate. So we are kind of forced to use something here. I'm gonna use the Imperm on that, because we still have that in the back, of course, making it so that the Regulus detaches. It's a 2.8. We don't really care about that. They already used the battle phase. This is not relevant for us anymore. It does have a negate next turn, but we can just run over that if we can get rid of the Colosseum. We have enough to deal with that next turn because we still have like insane follow-up, of course. So now they decide to use the Ride. We decide to Barone this. And then they decided to scoop, not showing the ABC. I don't know if the ABC parts would have done there anything. You can search one, equip the other one. I think you could still play it there, right? I don't know what they did there, why they did that. Anyways, they did scoop, so it is what it is. Game 2. Opening hand is Etela, Lulu, Qinglong, Etela, Laulau, and the opponent is on Colosseum, Dianode, Wyvern, Nib, and Souls. So they are playing the Souls package, they're playing the Punk package. So it's more than likely not very big ABC package, and that's why they couldn't play with one field spell, but then I don't get it. They used the Colosseum, search the Regulus, then use the Souls to get rid of the Colosseum for a draw 1. They will be drawing into an Assault Core, so now they have 2 pieces, and they DC'd there for a second. This was like a very cool time to see because I actually thought they just quit because they were like so pissed. With no field spell in hand, they're kind of crying, but they do have the extender to link this off. This, if it goes into the graveyard, does special summon one from hand. So they link C and Souls into a Dagda triggering the C in the meantime, summoning A out of the hand. Afterwards, they can use the Regulus to do something. Chaining the Doctor, of course, to get the Scythe. Get A on the field. Wait, they can't chain Doctor. Oh yeah, they can't chain Doctor because it's on. It's not on the field. It's on the. It's in graveyard. Of course, Doctor needs to be from field. So they set the Scythe. Summoning the Crush Wyvern. Now here you can definitely do a lot of stuff, right? You can go for a Tornado Dragon. You can go for a lot of shit. And what they do, they go for a Barricade Bog Blocker. I don't know, maybe they underestimated my deck and they thought with one Nib plus Regulus you could easily force everything, like the Vela plus Nib, where you basically it's so hard to play through that. Maybe they thought they would have this here, but I think they very highly underestimated the ability for Virtual to force stuff out early on, with stuff like Qinglong, of course. So I don't know what they planned here. We draw a 2/2, which of course is an ass thing. For example, if they play a Tornado Dragon, which they probably should do if they're trying to Scythe Lock and they're playing a level 4 based advantage engine in the form of ABCs, it's probably safe to assume that the Tornado Dragon would be a very good card. And so you definitely go for a Tornado Dragon here. I thought we would just instant lose this game, but we didn't. We activate Qinglong. We Lulu on this first, forcing out the Regulus as soon as possible, because this will give us 2 bodies, one in the grave and 1 extra in the field. If they negate this, we can still normal this. This is like a very juicy negate target. There's nothing else we should do here. We could, in theory, use the Emergency Teleport and Lulu on that, but we already have a trap in hand. We only want 1 trap in grave and 1 in hand, so we don't need that. And then we can just get an additional body in the form of a GG, which we can search off the Lulu. So that's like a very good play. It like plays best for our own engine and plays best into the opponent's disruption, because we don't die to it, and we can get rid of the opponent's disruption if they don't Lulu this. So that's like a really good play, in my opinion. So we decide to Emergency Teleport after this, after they negate it, getting the Neon, normal summoning the Lulu. We decide to go for Charge Warrior here, probably. Yeah, we decide to go for a Charge Warrior. Get a draw 1. Let's see what we got. We get a Cold Buy, which is like a really good pickup. They have very graveyard relevant deck, of course. That's the 3rd summon, so now we go for an Italer here, because we want to be able to send a Qinglong. Now we use the Lao Lao on the Lulu, I assume. Getting the Chooch into the... Wait, we already have a... Yeah, I think I misclicked here, I remember. I thought I think I straight up misclicked. I just misclicked here. We don't do this, guys. Don't be like me. Don't be stupid. This is, like I said, this is the 1st or the 2nd game I played on this day. Very tired. I was like up at 7 or something. If we had a Qinglong here, would have definitely could have still played. We could have gone for a Shen Shen pass after that. That would have been pretty good, especially with Chucha and Cold Buy, but we didn't, and we got punished because this was the plan. I wanted to do, okay, if they have a Nib here, we can, if they don't have a Nib, we Crystal Wing or Brave, and if they do have the Nib, we just Chen Chen Chucha pass. Yeah, we activate the Neon here, just so, I don't even know why we did that. I think we wanted to do it realistically. That's why I think we did that. It's like something I like to do. No, we did it to actually we did it to get 2 into graveyard, because this is where I realized I don't have a Qinglong, which is kind of ass, not gonna lie. So we just set our remaining cards and pass. The Scythe is gonna trigger, but it's not gonna matter too much, because well, we don't really summon anything from the extra deck anymore, and also it's the body which they can use, but it's probably not that big of a deal, because the link climbing shenanigans of this deck is not something I care about too much. Here we do another misplay now that I remember that. The opponent is on Colosseum and Sea Crush Rival. We both know these cards, and they have 1 unknown, and they do have some form of grave setup. They decide to activate the Colosseum. We decide to call by the grave the Regulus here, thinking that the pop is way more suitable to disrupt their link climbing, because we didn't really know how much link climbing plays they can do. I wanted to have the Chucha for that, but in theory we should always hit the Colosseum because we're in a simplified game state right now. This token is really big and it wants to run over stuff, and Colosseum prohibits that and gives them an insane grind game. And Called by the Graves just shifts the grind game one turn further away with a card on field which you could have dealt with, getting rid of one resource they had, and not just shoving the problem away into like the future where this card is like really good. It was just a very dumb play on my part. We do draw the Adventure here, which does nothing, and we decide to scoop. This is definitely a game we should have won. We should have had Shen Chucha called by. Yeah, definitely could have won this, but we didn't. So, game 3, we decided to go first, of course. We did side in Anti-Spell. I think we sided in a Token Collector as well. The opponent is on right, Called by the Grave, Dark Ruler, no more Jet Synchron set rotation. We have Qinglong again. I think this is the third Qinglong we drew. Etala, Lulu, Kowloon, Ash. So we died to one Ash, but that's okay. The opponent is thinking here. They don't have anything. This is a straight bluff. They can't activate anything here. I think this is actually illegal. I don't even know. I don't care. I think they also hit us with a nice bluff. Not really nice bluff. It was an illegal action. They had nothing to chain there, and then they thought about like bluffing that they have an Ash, but then they have an Nibiru, so they didn't really have anything to do there, which is like, I don't know if it's legal. I don't really care. So Lulu on on Chucha resolves, which is always good, making so there's no Ash on the opponent's side. Sending Qinglong, adding GG. This is the standard play, guys. GG on Lulu, sending the Chucha. We decide to go for an Italy here as well. We do risk here running here into the nib, but we don't now do it probably the play we should have done before, where we go into a Coral Dragon, use the Chucha on the GG, making it level 6. Go for Crystal Wing, setting the Qinglong. Coral Dragon draws in the meantime. GG, which is fine, I guess. We can normal it. Then we set the Qinglong, trigger the Crystal Wing. They decide to think here. They have nothing. I don't know why people do this. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I think you can get a warning for that on a tournament. There's Dueling Book though, so they are free to do whatever they want, I guess. We use Qinglong, search Lao, sending GG. Lao on the Chucha here will be sending a Neon, of course. We can't send a Qinglong. We already have a Neon, so we sent a Lily, so we have the whole crew in the grave, making it so that Juju or Shen or Fan, everything like that. No, not Fan. Mostly Juju is more alive. Reviving GG with the Lao, of course, triggering the Neon. We then decide to, I think because they play Brave, we decide to go for a Beatrice, because we do have the Token Collector. Charge Warrior with Neon and GG, triggering the Neon, recycling the Chucha, of course. We always want to recycle that first, triggering the Charge Warrior draw, drawing into another Ash, which basically does nothing here, apart from, oh, it's actually a very good turn draw, because it's a level 3 tuner, which we can normal summon. Saving is so that we don't have to use the Beatrice to turning it into Gaia Charger, but we'll get to that. So we use the Beatrice, send the Enchantress, use Enchantress, search right, activate right, get the Adventure out of the deck. Now we can normal summon the Ash, searching the Draco back, so that way we don't have to overlay on the Beatrice, so we can keep the Beatrice as a disruption. Search that. Adventure, search Enchantress, pitch that, re-equip it, doesn't really matter because we will now use Enchantress, special summoning itself, and then turn all of these into a Baron. We pass turn here, add a Lulu, and we should have the game right now, because in standby phase you activate Beatrice, send Token Collector, right? We don't do this because we are very early on. It's just a straight misplay, because Dark Ruler's everywhere right now. We get Dark Ruler, then we start to cry a little bit in the inside, but it's all fine. Because we still have a Chucha plus a Ash plus a deck which very hard struggles to break boards. So decide to activate right, and we're like, we had something against that. But in the end, it doesn't really matter all too much. We're still like in a very good position just because our board is so hard to out for him, or for them, I guess. So they activate the right, then immediately activate the Adventure, searching the Illegal Knight because they're trying to out our board. Regulus on the Jet Synchron. We are thinking on this, I assume. We use the Chucho on the token, that way they cannot use the illegal knight to break our board. Regulus can't run over anything here, so it's just a negate, which we don't care about too much. As we have an Ash, but there's like not a lot we want to Ash anyways, and they also have the Cult by the Grave, so it doesn't really matter. And in the end, the Token Collector was not something which we highly missed. Of course, it's still the correct play to just do it in standby phase to dodge stuff like Dark Ruler, but it is what it is. They get to add the Draco back, which doesn't do anything anymore. The illegal knight is turned off. Regulus is just chilling there, doing nothing. They activate a set rotation. What are they activating there? They give us a Colosseum and giving themselves probably an ABC thing. Yes, activating the Union Hanger. Searching. I think you always search B. B is the best one, I think. Yes, B is the one which searches, right? Yes. So they search B. Also, they make themselves, or the equipped monster, unaffected, right? By spells, traps, and monsters, depending on the color of this guy. I remember that now. Like, quick tip for you guys, I guess. The ABC pieces make them unaffected, and you can always identify them, which they do by the color. So this is green, so this makes unaffected by spells. A is yellow, so it's unaffected by monster effects, like this yellow-orangey thing, and C is purple for traps. Big brain, guys, big brain. So they activate, they normal summon the Buster Drake, summoning, getting Hanger, triggering that, going for the A Soul Core. We decide to not Ash here because they would just get the Jet Synchron into the grave for free, which we don't want them to have. So now they decide to do this. Sending all for a Barricade Board Blocker. I don't know why they did this. They decide to trigger the B, I think. Yeah, only B, A recycles. I don't know why they didn't do this. We think on the B. And why did we Ash this? Oh yeah, we Ash this because Hulk Fibrex doesn't do anything. We thought about it, or I thought about it. I always say we, it's just me. Jet Synchron summon here, pitch something, go into Hulk. What does it do? It gives you nothing remotely useful. It Cyphlocks at best. It maybe link climbs, but we don't really care about that too much because they can still link climb if they wanted to. The opponent's gonna Ash, so it doesn't really matter. They search the Sea Crush Wyvern, using the Jet Synchron, pitching the Sea Crush Wyvern, so now they have ABC on grave. They can summon an ABC Buster Dragon for free. They do that here, but what are they gonna do with that? They could, in theory, break most of our board, but not all of it. They decide to use the Buster Dragon here on the set because they think it's something relevant. I don't know, I just noticed that the Draco bag is just chilling on my Spell Trap Zone the whole time. Pitching that, banishing Qinglong, which I was like, oh, perfect, this doesn't do anything. They now decide to go for... what did they go for? And Hulky Fibrex here. Hulky Fibrex effect. Summoning from deck. They are thinking here. They are figuring out that they can't really do anything here anymore. In theory, they could maybe go for an access code and get 2 pops with Hulk and this, and then pop 2 and run over 1. And if you just read this as a bluff or not something good, you could have got rid of most of this. But then I still would have had Qinglong on field because it would have been there, and Lulu in hand with no disruption on the opponent's part. So this is the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed this class. It's a little longer, filled with misplays, but I always think these, especially the ones with misplays, are super educational for both you and me, guys. If you want to take anything away from this one, it's definitely the ABC thing. I don't know if it's super popular as a deck. I think like it's a fan favorite, but it's not really that strong. But remember the colors, guys. Remember the colors, and most importantly, don't play when you're like super tired and not talking about everything which is on your mind and you're just not straight thinking. It's not good for your rating, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class. Professor Sunreis out. Peace.